I almost don't want to say this out loud, but did the New England Patriots just have like a good draft? And I'm not just talking about like they picked up some great picks later rounds, because they always do that, but like through and through a good draft. Like, did they nail their first couple of picks? And did they also still draft a kicker and a punter? Of course they did. They're the New England Patriots. Had a ton of picks, traded down a bunch. This was pretty much your typical Patriots draft, with the exception of they had some picks that were beloved in the early stages, which usually doesn't happen. Usually everyone loves their, sixth round corner pick and hates their first round, running back pick or whatever it is. This year, Christian Gonzalez, just so you know what the chart is that you see on the screen, it's the player's name, their position, where they were drafted. So for Gonzalez, it was 17th, and then where the consensus big board had them, which was 7th for Gonzalez. He was very hyped up. Many had him as their number 1 corner. He ends up being the number 3 corner taken, falls to 17. I'm not really sure why. Now, There's some issues on his tape for sure. Like, one thing I kept talking about is there were times when it's like, dude, you run a 4-3. Why are you giving these guys so much space? They're not going to beat you down the field. You're okay. Just make sure you don't get beat underneath. You know who noticed that? Bill Belichick. He's going to be a star in that team. I think he's going to be a superstar. I wouldn't be shocked at all if he can get all-pro potential out of Christian Gonzalez. I think that legitimately is his, the one knock I had on Gonzalez and why I had him at number 2 was, well, where is he going to end up? Is he going to end up with a coach that maybe doesn't know how to utilize him properly? Nope. He ends up going to the godfather of cornerback play. If I had to pick one team for him to get drafted to, it would have been New England. With the pick number 46, they got Keion White. Some people had him as a first rounder. Keion White, it's weird, right? I don't know exactly what to make of Keion White, because he's a 24-year-old project, which is concerning right off the bat. Doesn't have a ton of snaps at Georgia Tech. Did not play in 2020, 72 in 2021, and then had 583 in 2022. Again, me, I like to look at the analytics and stuff of that nature. Not great, not very good, quite frankly. The advanced stats for him, which I know Bill Belichick does not care about, and he knows more about football than I do, so who am I to judge? But what's to get excited about with him? 6'5", 285 pounds. I'm still wondering if he plays on the edge. I think he could be a very good run defender edge, and he definitely is raw, and there's reason for him to be raw. There's excuses to be made, but I understand why he fell out of the first round. I have no issue with spending a mid-second round pick on him, and I think some people would love this selection, quite frankly. We then have Marte Mapu, who was selected as a safety. Now, he's listed as a linebacker on the consensus big board, so, we'll see what he ends up doing. Maybe a hybrid, which, the Patriots like guys who can do different things, right? They like guys who are versatile, and that certainly is Mapu. I think, again, another guy who probably will be used very well in this New England system. He's, 6'3", 216 pounds, so kind of definitely fits more as a safety than as a linebacker. But listen, plays great around the ball. Definitely someone who can, stop the run very well. And if he's used in the right way, will be an effective player. And again, it's Bill Belichick. He's going to use his defensive backs correctly. You can criticize some of his offensive personnel moves if you want to, Belichick. You can't criticize how he knows defense. And it's just like, oh yeah, I totally see what he sees in Mapu. It is a reach. No denying that. Picks, 157 on the consensus big board, picked at 76. That's not good. Not quite as bad as the next one, though. And we have a couple of reaches, quite frankly. Jake Andrews, the center, who, listen, it's one of those Belichick knows offensive linemen. Andrews had a great 2020 season. Again, you look at the analytics, really good stuff then, not so much since then. And I look at analytics when it comes to offensive linemen, it tends to translate pretty well. His pass block grade at the center position was in the bottom quarter of college players last year. I mean, it was bad at college. So how is Belichick going to fix it? I'm sure he has a plan, and we'll see if it works out. But again, got the 270th rated player with pick 107. I'm typically not going to defend that. But I will a little bit defend the next one. Chad Ryland. It's always weird with drafting kickers because I actually don't hate the idea of drafting a kicker in a vacuum. I think a kicker is worth a pick 112. The issue is, and we'll get to it with the punter, is the punter's a little bit different, actually. The issue with drafting a kicker is they just don't really, they have low hit rates. So, like, sure, if you can get someone who's going to be a good kicker for a while, spend that pick on him. I have no issue with it. The issue I sometimes have is they don't always end up being that that player, which is where things get a little bit trickier. So, again, I know some people, is a group of people that say never draft the kicker. I can see why. I get both sides. Sidney Sow was the next pick. He is a guard who, again, we're getting to the point now where it's, okay, if you like a player, you like a player. A couple of reaches here as well. But again, Belichick does no offensive line. Should be a good run blocker for them. Seems like that's kind of the thing. They're drafting guys who are good run blockers, maybe not necessarily the best at pass blocking, because, you know, that's what those two guys are, is they're good at the inside at run blocking. And even Mafe, the next guy that got, Antonio Mafe, is another guy who, run blocking stuff, really good. Pass blocking, not so much. Maybe Belichick feels like from the inside he doesn't care about pass blocking as much. He can coach it up with them, or he just feels like their best player available. Hard to really know. Next up, we had some wide receivers fall in this draft class. Kayshon Butte is another guy who fell in this draft class. He was a lot of reaches here. Now you're getting a steal with what people thought would be the 116th rated prospect falls to 187. The Patriots are able to pick him up here. Again, Patriots like to have a lot of different receivers who can do a lot of different things, and that feels like what they're getting with Kayshon here is just someone who can, again, bring something new to the offense, be someone who can be, just another guy in the room, another guy who can do stuff. It's, again, I can see why he fell. 5'11", runs a 4.5. People don't really, not great production. Like, there isn't a ton to like about him, but he's only 20 years old and is an effective route runner, and we've seen Belichick hit on those guys before, so we'll see. Amir Speed, corner, a couple guys, and Isaiah Bolden, halfback, are the last two on this list. Or actually, I skipped over Demario Douglas. All three of those guys, I wonder if, I skipped over a bunch of people. What am I doing? We'll get to the punter in just a second. But those bottom three guys feel like they're special teamers. That's what I would assume happens. Again, who knows? With Belichick, maybe he sees a diamond in the rough. Again, wouldn't be the first time, but feels like special teamers. And then let's end it with the punter conversation. Should you draft the punter? The answer is just no. And it's not because, punters just aren't that valuable. I mean, that's just really what it comes down to, is the best punter. If you could get the best punting unit in the league, the top punting unit all across the board, if you got the best one in the league, that'd be worth around $3 million cap room wise. So it's just like, it's just not worth it. A depth offensive lineman is more valuable, so I wouldn't have made that selection. But again, we all know Belichick loves his special teams. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Belichick. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on this draft? Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.